As the year wraps up, it's easy to get stuck in old habits, doubt our progress, and coast through the final months. By shifting our mindsets now, we can end the year strong, break through any mental blocks, and carry that momentum into the next year. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. It's Christina. So in this video, we're just going to be talking about some mindset shifts that it is crucial that we implement before the end of this year. And the reason why is because these are going to be some things that are going to allow us to flourish in 2025. And I know you guys may be thinking, isn't it a little early for that? No, absolutely not, because if we want 2025 to be the best year yet, we have to start preparing now. It's lock-in mode, guys. We have to lock in, and we want to finish this year out strong, and we want to ensure that 2025 is the best year yet. So there's no better time to start than now. So without further ado, let's just get straight into the video. So the first mindset shift that we need to make is that we have to separate how we feel with what is required. And this might ruffle some feathers, and a lot of people might not want to hear this, but our emotions are valid, but sometimes they can cloud our judgment. Like for instance, just because we feel scared to do something doesn't mean that we should not do that. Sometimes we have to push through the feeling of something because that's something that is going to be beneficial for us. And this is something that I'm getting extremely used to because things are extremely hard. Like if you want to be good at something, it's gonna take work and it's gonna take time. And so honestly, I've been feeling like I'm just tired. I'm tired mentally, I'm tired emotionally of doing the same thing, and I'm getting frustrated because I'm like, okay, I'm doing all the work, but where is the results? And I just have to realize that I have to embrace the hard. I have to know that even though I feel discouraged, even though I feel like something's not working, I have to put that feeling in the back of my head. I have to just do the actions anyway. So I think it's important to like separate the two. And that doesn't mean that feelings aren't valid. They extremely are valid. But don't let them cloud your judgment, and don't let them distract you from the things that we need to do. Because I feel like if everyone goes based off of solely what they're feeling, that would dissuade people from doing a lot of the things that need to be done. There's always things that we're not going to want to do, but those things could be the exact things that we need to do to propel us to the next step. And sometimes we convince ourselves out of things because of a feeling. And that's just the most that can be one of the most self-destructive things we can do if we convince ourselves to do something just because we don't like the way it makes us feel. And I'm not talking about like physical pain. I'm not talking about anything like that. We all know when there's something that is kind of like stress-inducing, something that is kind of scary, like speaking in front of people. It's easy to think like, okay, I'm scared to do that. I don't want to do that. But we have to push past that sometimes. Sometimes those are the moments when we feel that that fear, when we feel that uncomfort. Those are the things that can take us to the next level. So the next mindset shift that I want to talk about is the idea of confidence. And I'm not gonna lie, I heard this on a podcast. I've been listening to Alex Hormozy lately, and he talked about this in one of his podcasts, and I thought it was so fascinating, so I just want to share it with you guys. Basically what it talked about is how one way that you can view confidence is the amount of times that you do something that makes you feel comfortable doing that thing. So basically with that definition, confidence is basically when you do something enough times till you get the result that you want. So basically what I took from that is that we can train our brain to be more confident even if we don't feel confident. And let me just give one example. If you want to be a confident person, what are the actions that confident people display? They hold their head up high. They make eye contact with people. They have good posture. If those are traits of confident people and you want to be confident, all you have to do is imitate those traits. And even though it may be uncomfortable and it may feel awkward doing those things, if you do it enough, that's going to display confidence. That's going to make a confidence exude from you, and the more you do it, the more you're going to get comfortable doing it, and it will translate into true confidence. And I'll just use myself for another example. I'm very much not confident about my speaking skills. I feel like sometimes I don't articulate myself the best. Even though I feel like I'm a bright person, I just don't think I sound the smartest person all the time. So in order for me to become more confident in my speaking abilities, I've been practicing. When I was talking to people and I didn't really like the way I sounded when I talked, I took mental note of that. And YouTube is something that has helped me tremendously with this because I can physically and literally see myself talk and see where I mess up, see how many times I say or and then I use that as feedback so that the next time I make a video, I try to be more intentional about not saying or or things like that. So by me literally practicing and hearing how I talk and working on it, that is making me a more confident speaker because I am trying to improve the things that I don't like about how I talk. So the more that we practice the things that make us not feel confident is the more confident we're gonna become in it. And that takes work. I'm not trying to make it sound like that's easy because it's not. Let's say you go up to somebody and then you were kind of nervous to do it, but it turned into a great interaction, it turned into a great conversation. Now you're feeling good because it's wow, I was nervous to do that, and then look, it actually worked out, and now, I feel good about myself. over time, that's gonna build confidence because you're gonna keep on getting the result that you want, and that's gonna eventually allow you to actually become more confident. Next one is we have infinitely more to gain than we have to lose. And I love this one so much because I tell myself this and it helps me a lot, because I think people are so risk averse that they just look at all the negative things that could happen instead of all that they have to gain. So let's take something for instance, and this is my own personal example. So I'm trying to like build my Instagram right now because I'm a real estate agent and I just want to like have a good like real estate page. So when I'm posting on there, I was getting nervous because I was thinking to myself, what if people unfollow me because they don't like my new content? Like, what if this, what if that? And then I thought, even if every single person on my Instagram account unfollowed me, I have infinitely more people that could follow me than the people that would unfollow me. You know what I mean? And just shifting that mindset. And that's the same with YouTube, or like whatever you want to do, whatever you have to lose, you probably have infinitely more to gain. And so with that mindset, it makes me just want to take risks, because at the end of the day, I don't want to play it safe. I don't want to just do something to keep the small amount of things that I have, even though on the other side of things, I have so much more that I could possibly gain from taking a risk. And I'm not just saying like being reckless and just doing whatever, but I'm saying making calculated risks that make sense and doing things that could potentially open yourself up to that large amount of possibilities. And one thing that I realized like about social media is like, you trying to please a small audience of people, you're neglecting the silent majority of people who don't even know your channel yet, who don't even know who you are. So even though you're scared to like be yourself or whatever, you could appeal to a way larger group of people by doing the actual content that you want to do than just trying to stick to what like the small group of people who are watching you, but you don't want to stick into that lane. You don't want to stick in that niche. So just by taking that leap, taking that like risk of doing what you actually want to do, because maybe what if so many more people like that than what you're already doing? You just never know. So just try things out and don't be scared to take that risk, because like I said, like you have so much more to gain than you have to lose. The next shift that you should make is you have to realize that the goal is you. And what I mean by this is that one of the most valuable things that we can go after is allowing us to become the best version of ourselves. And that sounds so cliche, like I'm not even trying to sound cliche, but I think if we continue to work on ourselves internally and really reflect on who we are, what we want, and just continue to build on ourselves, that is going to exude into everything else that we're doing. So just focusing on yourself, focusing on making sure your mental health is together, making sure that your health and your wellness and everything that is concerning you is together, that is gonna eventually positively impact all the other things that you're trying to obtain. And yeah, I just think that people lose sight of that because it's just always like, I want this, I want this. Like, we get so caught up in reinforcement. Like, we always want to see positive reinforcement, we want to see results, and you know, we're just wired that way. But I think one thing that is so important is for us to just work on our craft, and the results will come later. Because we can want results all day, but the things that are gonna get the results is us building those skills, is us getting ourselves together first, and then that is going to allow us to get the positive reinforcement. For example, like I'm working so hard to like just learn skills and just educate myself and just to become a more well-rounded person, because I can apply that to every area of my life, and those can be things that I see results in later down the road. And even if I don't see them now, I will eventually see them. The next mindset shift that I want to talk about is embracing I don't know as a strength. And what made me think about this is I just recently went to a networking event, guys, and I just be doing anything. I'm not gonna lie, I just do anything because I went to this event. First of all, it was like a members only event, but you can pay to get in, so I paid to go. And it was all these people that work for these major companies like Microsoft, like all these big companies, whatever. I was talking to some of the people there, and I was literally listening to them, and the words that they were saying did not make any type of sense to me. But the reason I was there is because I'm really interested in tech right now, and I'm just trying to learn more about it. So I intentionally placed myself in that environment where I knew I was probably gonna be like the least knowledgeable person in that room, which I was. But with that aside, when I was talking to these people, I was just really like listening to them, and I had to tell them like, can you tell me more about that? Like, what exactly does this mean? And I don't think it should be an embarrassing thing to not know all the answers. I don't think it should be an embarrassing thing to have questions, because at the end of the day, I think people respect when you're truthful about not knowing something. And admitting that you don't know something allows for you to learn. And I think that was the biggest takeaway that I got from going, is just like It's just that there's nothing wrong with putting yourself in places where you may not be the most knowledgeable, because that is how you're gonna learn and that's how you're gonna grow. So just by embracing the fact that you don't know everything and embracing the fact that there's so many people who do know things and you can go to them to get that information, I think it's just very valuable. So the next mindset shift that we're gonna talk about is shifting our mindset from doing more to doing what matters. And this is important because I think people equate the more you do, the more you're getting done. And this is not always the case. Like, I can attest to this. Even though I told myself, I'm gonna do this for an hour, I'm gonna do this like 5 days a week. Just because I'm doing it that amount of times doesn't mean I'm getting the benefit of doing that many amount of times. I think people just pride themselves on doing more. And what I mean by this is, you know, when people say, oh, I'm so busy, my schedule is packed, my schedule is so full. That sounds good, but are all those things meaningful tasks? Are all those things effective tasks? I think people just like to be busy just for the sake of being busy instead of assessing if what they're actually doing is being beneficial. So instead of just trying to do everything and like have a full schedule, make sure that what you're doing is actually meaningful, because at the end of the day, the things that are meaningful are going to override the amount of action. And the last mindset shift that we need to make is the shift from what if it fails to what if it succeeds. Because I think our minds automatically go to the negative. Our minds automatically go to what if it doesn't work out? What if it does? Like, what if literally the thing that you are so scared to try is a thing that can excel you to that next level? Like, just don't underestimate the power of risk. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I really would like to know what you think, so let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.